Interesting. I'm getting some warnings. Security model is blocked from loading local security authority. Okay. What the? I will learn more and find out later. Good morning. A little late, but still made it. And hopefully, there's no squeaking today. I resisted ordering a pizza last night. Proud. Good morning, Malra. Good morning. Good evening. I'm trying to train myself to go to the bathroom like after workout, but sometimes you just can't. It's like I'm so like hardwired into go in the bathroom right after I wake up. But I either gotta wake up early or what time like it's gonna happen. Or, 7 is kind of like roughly a number of when I start. So if it's like closer to 7:10 or 7:20, as long as I go for the hour. And I got a bunch of art hang up in this white space right next to me. I'm gonna put something there, just visually interesting, like just a big pair of tits or something eye-catching. But like cleavage, you can't show full nudity. Maybe I'll fake it though, and like at a glimpse, it'll look like cleavage, but it'll be like 2 watermelons in a grocery bag or something. Or it'll be I love that like I don't know what you would call it, like childhood tricks where you use your elbow and it looks like something nefarious. Or like, you know, I guess it's just pranks maybe, or you know, the fingers where you stick it in and you open it up, it looks like a vagina. I also thought about like wearing a costume or something. You know, anything to catch the eyeballs and stop you from scrolling. At the same time, I think on the whole, I don't just want to be super gimmicky. And then, if it does work, I'm stuck with that gimmick like forever. Like the guy who dresses up like a gecko. I'm sure that gets annoying. And he streams all the fucking time. You know, if there's ever like a medical condition from putting lethal amounts of green paint on you, that guy's gonna figure it out. He's going to be the martyr for the cause. And then everyone's gonna be like, well, this is a problem, but this is a problem just for that guy. And green paint will be just as lethal as it was. I'm not saying it is, but, you know, when humans do things they've never done before, yeah, it has to absorb somewhat into his skin. And I feel like never before has it been done at the quantities that he's doing it. I don't know. It's like the the golden eye girl in the credits of Golden, or the opening credits. The woman who was painted in gold paint or whatever died. Or maybe that was another Bond movie. But someone definitely died from painting themselves, and it was like lead paint. It's like, damn. Didn't even think that would do that. And weekends will not be this early. It'll be early. It'll be whenever I first wake up, but, you know, I'm giving myself weekends to sleep in. Because in general, I just need to, like, catch up on sleep. I don't know if it actually does anything, but it feels good to just, like, sleep in until 10 or 11 or noon or sometimes 1. But then you feel like your whole day is wasted. Again, in the land of grays, I would love definitive answers. I don't know if we'll ever get them, but I would love to be like, banking sleep does not. You know, this is actually the minimum hours you need to sleep. You know, this is the better way. Right now, it's all kind of speculative and depends on your situation and depends. It's different for every person. But I feel like one day, and we're going to keep trying to do it, and we'll get closer and closer to something that's true. But like min-maxing your daily routine, I feel like everyone's trying to be like, you know, save scumming their Fallout character to get all the best gear for whatever build they got. We're going to get that one day with life. And hopefully the person that figures it out shares it. That's another thing. Yeah, like what if someone's already figured it out and then they're just keeping it to themselves like a selfish little bastard. They're like, I don't want everyone else to be better. Oh my God. Good morning, Bulkster. A straight-to-D Hellraiser movie about an online MMO. That is fucking ridiculous. I loved the first Hellraiser. I haven't watched any of the other ones. I kind of... I didn't know at the time. I kind of knew. But I tricked my wife, who's very not into body horror, into watching that. And then I was like, please, let's watch Hellraiser 2. I love that first one. And she's like, no, never again. That was the worst. Hellraiser's such a good thing, simple premise, yeah. Just really leaning hard in. Like, don't explain everything. Why are there 4 trilobite guys? Why do they love pain? What's the other dimension? Like, a lot of questions you don't have to answer in the first movie, but very creative things. In Hansel and Gretel, he didn't have to ask a bunch of backstories about why did the grandma become a witch? Why did she start eating children? How many children has she ate? Where's the bones? Like, you don't need to know all that information. For the purpose of the story, you get enough context to be like, I know what's going on. I hate over-explaining like we're doofuses. I feel like that's something that Marvel movies have gotten to. They just beat you over the fucking head with it. But then again, their demographics like little babies, so maybe they have to. Marvel just starts turning into Cocomelon. Marvel merges with the Cocomelon universe. Oh, I heard a little squeaky. After I greased them up. Which either means my greasing efforts didn't work, or it wasn't the chain that was squeaking. Dang. That's annoying. Can grease get ungrease? I started going down the rabbit hole of figuring out all these bike maintenance things. And I wanted to figure it out yesterday, but I just didn't have enough time. But I gotta go and get some bike grease. Submerge. Yeah, dunk the whole bike in grease. Maybe doing a sprint. Oh, that was bad. Or maybe doing backwards. Hold on. Backwards. Ah. All right. Going backwards. Maybe because I'm not going as fast. Interesting. Well, doesn't squeak when I go backwards. Oh, never mind. Not the case whatsoever. I think it's like $2,000 for a Peloton bike, and you can only use it with an active subscription, which I think is like $30 or $40 a month. And they have a hardware device that locks the bike if you don't have a subscription and you're trying to ride. That's how I was like, first off, I would grind that shit to a pulp so that I could ride whenever. But I don't know. You don't even want to go down the road when someone treats you like that much of an animal. Boring dystopia, exactly. Oh, there's gotta be, yeah. Just like there is for like John Deere tractors. John Deere, another horrible, lock you into using just them. Don't write to repair. We'll send a guy out, but it might be a month, which is ridiculous or something. And then you gotta buy a part which might not exist anymore. It's like, fuck off. I own this. But when you got a monopoly, I feel like that's like the indicative of like when you have a monopoly on something. But, you know. And that should be illegal. Like, but, you know, they have all these lobbyists and powerful. And instead of just making the thing better, they spend so much money trying to stay the way they are. Because change is hard, I get it. But, you know, just shows how much they care. Now the big thing would be if like you hacked a Peloton and were able to like put a pirate network up or something like with just like torrented P90X videos or something. And you could just watch any workout you wanted. Where's the Fire Stick for Pelotons? And like maybe if Pelotons were cheaper and more ubiquitous, that would happen. But I feel like being at a certain price point, no one's going to take the effort unless, you know, like for computers, everyone's got a computer, so there's tons of software you can run on Potato. You got Linux. A lot of options, a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential. But with Pelotons, I'm curious of like what the actual number of users, active users is. And also, I'm not going to buy a $2,000 Peloton and try to take it apart to hack it. But if I find one in the garbage, it still works. And then there's just like a software bug or something. I feel like that's when. So you just got to wait until they start getting thrown out. And then let the hacking begin. I have a vision. Like, you know how there's like Pi-hole for like ads? But now, like YouTube and these streaming sites and Netflix and all these streaming platforms are just baking the ads into the video feed. I have a dream of like making an add-on for Pi-hole. Or, I don't know, something. Maybe it'd have to be like a modified Netflix app or something that like is able to detect, because there's got to be some sort of header that lets you know an ad is starting, because it has like the countdown clock for how much ad is remaining. So there's got to be some ad that says, hey, an ad is playing right now. And just not skip it, because but play it in like a 1 pixel by 1 pixel and just mute it. So on their side, it plays the whole way. And if they have like checkpoints through the ad, that's fine. But it just shows me like an animated GIF or something or a playlist of videos I have. Like Google TV has like the Zen moment if you're like further ahead than the broadcast is, or you've skipped an ad. I want Zen mode for every ad. I don't mind taking a break from watching the show, but just don't show me a fucking ad. And don't play anything. Play maybe some chill beats and show me like a field of flowers, and then we'll get back to the program. I feel like if I could figure that out for like every embedded video stream, like a solution, probably impossible, but I feel like I'd be like the ad blocker guy. But that's way more complicated. I feel like I could be a rich man, but I would release it for free because fuck them. I just would love to not have ads. But then, you know, once everybody starts using that, they're going to figure out some shittier way. Like literally product placement. They're already doing that too. And very shitty content. Drew Gooden did a video on this, I think. So it's like just putting ads right in. They like take Snicker breaks, or like, oh, I should chew some gum. And like it's in the episode, and they hold it up, but it's like not an ad with the characters in there. It's like still part of the plot very loosely. I forget what the show is called or the network, but it was just like all young kids. It's like kind of trying to be the Disney Channel, trying to replicate that formula, but very shittily. I wonder if there were ads in like Roman days or like Egyptian. There had to have been, right? But like, what form did it take? Was it just people barking? Was there like clowns in the street that's like, I'm the baklava clown? And they go, ah, I love that clown baklava. Mm-mm. Gladiator merch. Oh, hell yeah. That's badass. I mean, I was just talking about how much I hate it, and I said it was badass. But I think it's just like, it's so interesting that the things repeat. I just love that, like, these aren't new problems. I love and I hate it, but there's something cathartic and also dystopian about there being a warehouse of Super Bowl shirts that they made just in case an underdog won and then they lost. And then they're like, well, I guess we got to send these to the ocean or something. All right, water break. And my shorts are adding up to be short shorts. So there was Gladiator merch. Was the Gladiator ad block? I don't know. I do not know. Getting some swings while I'm at it. Butt's feeling fine. Butt update. Seat's working great. Now the squeak. Now it's all me versus the squeak. That's my new nemesis on this air bike. Fighting that squeak. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I'm on one day. 7. And I'm gonna throw this at the laptop. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But not today. Didn't throw it at the laptop today. And back to red. Oh yeah, me throwing the kettlebell. My cats are interesting. Like if I put on cat TV and there's like birds or squirrels, they're captivated. But most of the time they know TV, they just ignore it completely. And so like even if like something horrible is going on the TV, like Hellraiser, and someone's hanging off of meat hooks, the cat doesn't react whatsoever. I'm like, what the hell, Phil? What the hell, Raj? If this was actually happening in the house, I would want you to do something, kitties. But yeah, for some reason, just like real. But then they get used to that too. So you know those like pet TV things. They have a squirrel running back and forth, and the cats will follow it for a little bit, and then they'll catch on. Good morning, thick rat. James Acaster, Mr. Bean. What's Mr. Bean doing nowadays? Is Mr. Bean still doing his routine, but just in his daily life? Like a very avant-garde Mr. Magoo or something? Now he's living that Bean life. Mr. Bean or James? Oh, yeah. You know, I think the guy does what he wants, and yeah, didn't let himself go or go nutso butso, from what we could tell. So good for Mr. Bean. In before they find out that it's like, Mr. Bean had a violent pit bull ring. It's like, damn. I didn't think about Mr. Bean at all. Now he's got this horrible, horrible secret. I like Mr. Bean. One thing that's been on my watch list for a while, but I haven't heard anything about it, is that like Man vs. Bee. Because they turned it into a miniseries instead of a movie. I'm like, it's almost like a good like 20-minute episode maybe. I haven't seen it though, so I can't really judge it. But it's just a guy who's being tortured by a bee that's in his house. Like, I don't know how they escalate that. But it seemed like the perfect Mr. Bean episode. And then I think it's for Netflix, and they turned it into like a 4-part series. I'm like, fuck you. I hate all these things that, you know, why can't something be shorter? Like, even if that was just like a 12-minute episode, I would have been like, that's great. And then have a bunch of Mr. Bean man versus videos or something. Man versus toilet. And essentially just recreating Mr. Bean under this new man versus menial thing brand. That's holiday gags for fun. Yeah. Oh. I wonder where he got that voice from. Where he developed that. Oh. this looks nice. Like, very minimal dialogue. Hey, that's fine. Whatever, piques your interest. You gotta make life interesting sometimes. And life is pretty interesting. So, whatever gets you through the days. I used to be very embarrassed of watching 90 Day Fiance. I hate TLC, and I hate all those shows, and I hate how they exploit all these people. Same time, I can't stop watching. I'm so fascinated. What's up, Mr. Seeker? I'm trying, but right now, I'm kind of eating as normal, which is not good. But I feel like I do eat varied, and I'm not eating like fried foods all the time. But I do eat out a lot. That's got to cut. Stop eating in my line. I don't eat in McDonald's. I don't eat Taco Bell is my one weakness for fast food. And that's maybe like once or twice a month. My problem is like restaurants downtown for lunch, because I work down in Detroit, and like there's like no options if you don't pack, and so I don't have many good options. But like Indian, Mediterranean, there's like an Italian sandwich place. There's a taco place. Not like chain taco places though. These are like legit independently owned or family owned. Cold soup from a can. There's a good soup place by. There's this place called Lunchtime Global, and they're quick too. Yeah, Indian food's got a lot of good options, and Indian food is like Indian food and like Chinese food is the one thing that like, yeah, I'll eat like tofu and like just potatoes and vegetables if it tastes like that. Astronaut food, just add water and go. Interesting. I'm not necessarily on a diet, but I'm trying to make better options. Like yesterday, my work got lunch. We got sushi for lunch. And like sushi's not the worst. But then my wife was like, "Do you want to get a pizza?" And I was hungry after work. And I very much wanted to say yes. And I was like, putting on my pants and putting on my shoes, and I was like, I cannot get a pizza right now. Especially on the start of my health journey here. I cannot plateau that hard at the beginning. Like, I have to try to make some. I saw the path, and I was like, I know I just said yes, but I have to say no. And I just made a ham sandwich. Not the healthiest, but better than. I feel like you could trust people that you like to watch in terms of advice, maybe. I don't know. No, I don't know. Use your best judgment. Live your own life. But if you're inspired by something somebody says, and don't take financial advice, and don't buy something just because somebody, especially if it's a paid sponsorship. Should add an AI to keep them running. Yeah, like the Insano Flex from Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. I'm just attached to a giant rig that's controlled by servos that are controlled by chat. That would be interesting to have like different timers that can't stop if people like donate or something. Maybe not automatic. You'll never go off that thing again, yeah. Man stuck on a hellish contraption he invented for a stream has been working out non-stop for 31 days. Rescue trees try to cut him out with the jaws of death, but he's skin grafted onto the machine. Yeah, no money yet, but one day, hopefully, a pittance. Not doing it for the money, though. Yeah, doing it for to get back into streaming, because it's a skill too. Like, as a young comedian, a young comic, it was comedy or like morning shows were still kind of, they were on their way out, but people were still like listening to them regularly, and like that was the vision. And I thought about it too. And I'm just like, morning host and like Howard Stern talk for 4 hours every morning, and they do put out a show every day. And like, let me just try doing that. Let me just try talking for 4 hours a day. And I couldn't even do it one time. I was like, how do you gotta keep talking, sit down. You gotta like curate a little bit. It's a little bit of a team effort, but also, you know, it's just such a skill. The gift of gab. And so you don't get better unless you start doing. And so I feel like this is helping, like, you know, how much silence is there in these streams? I'm trying to cut that down and just figure out things to blab about. And it helps to have chat and people watching. But I would love to turn off ads entirely. Yeah, I hate those pre-rolls. I feel like it so hurts the growth of smaller streamers to have like a 30-second pre-roll, because then people are so impatient. People are so ready to click off. But they're mandatory for who knows what reason. You thinking about streaming, Mr. Seeker? Is that what you mean? Or getting back into working out? Or both? Or working on AA? Why not both? Yeah. It is hard, though, I feel like, to do AI stuff, because in 2019, when we started, like, doing stuff, yeah. In the U.S., we have that, too, like, non-compete clauses. And anything you do while you work at the company is owned by the company. But I worked a way around that at my last job and at this job. of where I have a LLC for like, because I used to do like freelance work, and then I hated the freelance life because a couple people stiffed me on big jobs. There was like such a little amount that I was like, I'm not gonna take it to court. And I thought about being vindictive. Anyway, I have this LLC, and so they have that like little line, which I don't know how legally enforceable that is. But you know, you don't want to have to fight a giant. They most often work on settlements, or hey, like we're gonna fire you if you don't give us this. Sign it over. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So I have under that, I would just like handwrite in like an extra page and be like, except for everything that I have under my LLC, and I've got like thousands of like unfinished prototypes. So if I ever was working on something new, I could just like combine it into something gold, and it would still be owned by me. And like just don't do anything on your work machine. And like, how would they know? But yeah, I understand not wanting to risk it. But I feel like that's also like for programmers, there's like non-compete. Like you cannot go and work for a direct competitor for like a year. And I've never seen that enforced once. That has happened to a ton of coworkers of mine who just, you know, we work at a kind of like a, you know, a consultancy. And so many people have just been direct poached by the client. And it's like, am I going to sue my biggest client that like gives me the most, all this money for breaking, clearly just poaching somebody? No. So it's just like, but maybe like bigger companies would try to enforce that. Maybe the other way, like if I was at the big company and a small consultancy poached one of my employees, I would send the team of shark lawyers to go shut that shit down. I don't know. The legal system's so fucking weird and complicated. And it's like in a completely other different language just to cover all, prevent you from defending yourself. And there's so many rules and so many exceptions. Yeah, I remember you were saying that. That sucks, Mr. Seeker. I'm sorry to hear that. And the problem is it's like so long. Like my legal battle that I had with a landscaper, it took like 3 or 4 years to like even get to like a place where it's like, are we gonna sell or not? And then thankfully she didn't show up. And then I got an auto judgment. And then, you know, all the rounds. I was like, oh, great. And then my lawyer's like, this is not even the hard part. The hard part is collections. And so then going through collections takes forever. There's so many workarounds to like not pay. And you just got to keep following up. I'm getting paid though. Hey, there you go. At least there's that. All right, water break. Water break. Where are we at too? 45. I gotta make the timer like huge so I don't have to get up to see every time. Oh, you know what? The timer's also on this. Oh, maybe not. Water break. I think the U.S. is like that too, but I feel like the U.S., a lot of companies try to bounce and intimidate to make you not think you have rights, so you don't even think to fight back. But you do, and I've never seen, like, in those particular instances with, like, non-competes or I think bouncing is just super effective. I think it prevents a lot of people from trying. And then because not a lot of people fight, they don't care to fight, so they'll often just settle. So then that person stops making a stink and letting you know you can fight, and then the issue's over. So two birds, one stone. You get what you want. I don't enforce this for you, but you stop making a stink because you are so happy that you're not getting sued by a huge company. So scummy. Such a piece of shit. 2 weeks versus you need to show me that you can for me. Yeah, exactly. Kettlebell swings. Ooh, the sky looks amazing. Morning sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, here we go. I have to put more sound effects on this sound pad. Fart is for sure number 1, but I don't know what to put for 2, 3, and 4. Right now for 2, I have a toilet flush. Oh, pedaling backwards. I would like there to be an amendment to be like, I don't know how this would work, and as I said, I don't think it's possible, but just be like, hey, let's not go through this whole battle before. We just done this. Can I just hit the button and be like, this court case? And I don't even have to hire a lawyer. I go, this is exactly this court case. This has been solved before. This has been decided against. We've determined this to be like good. ChatGPT lawyer. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, some sort of AI assistance. I think ChatGPT or having a trained model based on these legal documentations would prevent you from going through thousands of court cases and only pull relevant ones. And yeah, you could still go through all of them if you wanted to, but anything to make this shit quicker, because there's a lot of wasted time in the legal system. And so if I could go through and pull everything that involves bike tracked and tractor tire, human fallibility. And then once they decide, it's fucking over. So as fast as this is, the decision is so finite and instant. To where, if you're guilty, the Innocence Project, nobody gets out. If you're, ruled guilty and there's something to completely exonerate you, I feel like the Innocence Project has to wait, 5 or 10 years for you to be in jail before you can, even be heard again. Maybe not that long, I don't know, but I'm sure there's been instances where that's happened, but you don't spend 0 time in jail. You miss that deadline and you get ruled guilty or not guilty. No, it can't replace, but definitely I feel like assistance. Yeah, I have a friend who's a lawyer, and like he owns like offices where we used to shoot sketch videos and stuff. And he shared the building with another lawyer friend of his, and both of them just had like huge bookcases behind their desks of court cases and stuff, you know, like legal literature. Just because you have to, like, you never know what you're gonna get, and you have to go and reference and study up on just the weirdest niche things. This specific instance of this specific thing. I also hate that it's like you can represent yourself. It's such a bad idea. It's like, why is it a bad idea? You know, why are there so many parts of this process that, you know, you need to have tribal knowledge on? Next time, voice chat. That's not a bad idea. Maybe for VIPs only. So I don't get no 10-year-olds spamming the N-word or something. But it's not a bad idea. I could do a little chat bot that text to speech is VIP only people. That'll be my hack time project for this weekend, Mr. Seeker. Good idea. I'm sure something already exists too. I think I can use the thing I was using for Goopsy. Not a lot of code. Make that happen. I'm trying to remember what it was, though. It was like a if this, then that, but for like OBS and Twitch and YouTube and stuff. It's on my other computer. I could just figure it out, but yeah, that thing is so handy. Man, I love when people just make amazing things that make it's like, yeah, how would I even do this? Oh, someone's already figured it out and put it up for free and actively maintains it. I mean, OBS itself is just like amazing. Chat Arena, great piece of software. Thank you for the free software. And thank you for everybody for contributing and helping keep this awesome thing alive. I would love to have like I don't know how this would work because like it can work with Blue Sky, but like a Fediverse, like a federated, non-centralized video platform. I feel like it's just too much data. Like even if the video was like 140p, just like an ad-free federated video platform. Like, yeah, I remember streaming video in the 90s and like waiting overnight, but it was like less than a megabyte for this like music video. So like streaming that, but making it purposely like low quality, but just something that like is cheap enough to run and easier to monetize. Because I think that's a problem with like, you know, Twitch and YouTube is they have it and they'll send support after you and shut down your stream if you're like streaming like 4K, 120 frames per second, super high bit rate. But like, just make it like way, way lower. If you're hemorrhaging money, stop running pre-rolls and try to squeeze me for every dime and like, you know, make the platform better. I'm sure like, you know, people go total ape shit if Twitch did that. But if there was like another platform that was just like, made me look like a blurry, pixelated Picasso or something. Interesting to speculate. Max bit rate, 200 kilobytes. I just wonder what the video would even look like. Like, how bad would it look? Or you have to be, like, really tight in on the frame. And then for chat, just keep using the IRC. I think that was such a smart decision of, like, Twitch to use that. Because look at how terrible YouTube chat is. Trying to reinvent the wheel. No worries, Mr. Seeker. I'm just spitballing. Video platform competitor ideas. It's like Twitch, but you can only stream 140p video. Because that is the thing with every video platform is like, how do we make this shit profitable? It is so expensive to support all these formats. Oh, you tease, Mr. Seeker. Even just saying you have an idea makes me curious, but yeah, hopefully one day you could disclose. I remember you saying something before while I was still doing AI streams about something you were working on. So, but yeah. I hope it comes to fruition. Just like my potato video streaming platform. Something very cheap. A non-centralized video platform with very low rate video, but something to like make it profitable from the start. Like make it like cheap as hell to run. Make the numbers make sense and then see if it takes off. I mean, the problem is you put all the effort in and no one's gonna fucking use it. But maybe, just maybe. I mean, like Vine or something. That was such a genius thing. 6-second video. Oh, interesting. That's a good teaser. Also, I hate that just everything is so like competitive and, you know, capitalistic, and everyone's trying to make their own money. You know, it's things like OBS, like this open source stuff, where like things really take off. I wish there was like, and there probably is, but it just like isn't used as widely. But like an open source video platform that people just pump up. Like if YouTube and Twitch, if all these companies work together, like how much further we could get. Like, would they get further, or is it like a China wall problem, where like you can put so many people on a problem, it's not gonna make it get solved any faster. In fact, it might be slower. I don't know. I like to think it would. Because it's not all just one problem. Just put all these smart people together to work on different problems. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people too. These big companies, you work on stuff that never gets released. Like I think that's like a notorious problem at Microsoft. But I think like all the FANG companies, they have all these the smartest people in the world, and they just pay them very well and they treat them very well. But in terms of like useful stuff they're working on, like the best of the best of the best work on the main platform, and everybody else works on these internal tools or weird marketing things or R&D that never go anywhere. Put smart people in a room and they are stuck. Yeah. You need one of those that throws ideas out. Yes, yeah. I feel like brainstorming is a skill all in itself. You need, you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen. You need a ship with a captain. That's like, this is the way we're doing. And you need people to follow that. And if you have like 8 captains on a ship, that ship's going to be spinning in the sea and eventually sink or whatever because they can't fucking agree on anything. Oh, are we there yet? Have we passed the hour? I need like a nice little jingle like bing, 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 bing. You have worked out for today. But we're there. 1 hour, 1 minute. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Mr. Seeker. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. And see you tomorrow. Happy Friday. Deuces. Bye-bye.